Building a future you can trust. FOSROC, that's FOSROC.com.au. This is a segment we do every Friday. Yeah, right. Just stay with us. So you've got to agree.
Probably not.
Strongly agree, disagree, or strongly disagree. They're your four options. I'm going to give you an easy. I'm going to give you just a little underarm pud where you can just smash it over the fence.
Hit me.
The Fremantle Dockers have pulled the right rein, calling Nat Fyfe back into the contest the same week that Sean Darcy returns. Agree, strongly agree, disagree, or strongly disagree. The Fremantle Dockers have pulled the right rein, including Nat Fyfe for his first game alongside the return of Sean Darcy in the same week.
Is there a vehemently disagree?
Okay, tell me why.
This almost fell over when I saw this. This is startling selection. First of all, we'll start with Sean Darcy. Most of the talk was he needs a bit of time in the waffle. He needs to get moving. He needs to get his mobility back. He needs to get big match minutes and fitness back as the number one ruckman, and it has to be done at Peel. Now, we had Justin Longmuir on here who said he's not considered this week, and he sort of ducked around that question. Bring him straight back in where Luke Jackson's having major influence on the game at the moment as the number one ruck. Sean Darcy can't play anywhere else, so Jackson will get moved again. Nat Fyfe is just mind-boggling to me. The last time he played, he did a hamstring, right? At Peel. Is that correct? Didn't play last week, did he?
You're telling the story. Why are you so emotional about this?
Well, because this is the thing with Fremantle, right? Fremantle for 30 years have made nice decisions. They've been a nice football club. They want the romantic story. They haven't been hard-nosed, and it's cost them over the years. Now, Nat Fyfe, I'm not taking away from what he's done. Extraordinary career. But the last time he did it was a minimum 3 years ago, possibly 4 to 5 years ago. He's not the Nat Fyfe anymore. He's a completely different player. And to do a hammy in the Peel and then come straight back into the side where you're jumping on a plane going to the other side of the country. Now, I can only imagine he'll be the sub. But just to me says you're going nowhere if that's, you want to do the right thing by a champion. Unfortunately, the game's brutal. Unfortunately, the game goes past people. You can't play forever, and you can't maintain a level that Nat Fyfe has maintained for most of his career forever. He's not in their best 23 players. Certainly at the moment, he needs football under his belt, and they'll play him as a sub. What if someone gets injured in the first 2 minutes and he's got to play 3.5 quarters, almost 4 quarters of footy? Struggle town. I might be proven wrong. I'll be blown away if he comes on and has a seriously good impact or a long impact on this game, and that he's in their best 23 if they're playing finals. Got me stuffed.
Chris from Spearwood's given us a call. He's got concerns too inside, thanks to FOSROC, of course. Building a bright future for construction industry, partner with FOSROC, FOSROC.com.au. Chris, are you happy or unhappy? Do you agree with Scott?
Mate, I'm being a Freo supporter, mate. I'm bitterly disappointed, mate. Freo doing the same old. I mean, Darcy's not fit. Until he shows his fitness or a bit of form, should not be in that side. And, I mean, bringing Fyfe back, I watched him down when he did his hammy down at Fremantle. I mean, he hasn't played in about 7-8 weeks. There's no match conditioning. What are you doing bringing the fella back? I'd be bringing in Will Brodie before I bring in either of those two. I mean, it's a bloody joke. And what's going to happen when they get belted by the Gold Coast? What's all the talk going to be? Darcy. Darcy again. Yeah. It's the same old, and I'm sick of it.
That was my point too, Chris. Thanks for the call, mate. It's the same old. It's the same old stuff. They want nice stories. They refuse to. And you know what? As a senior coach, you've got to back yourself. There's no doubt about that. But Taylor just refuses to even look at this Darcy-Jackson thing and how they play without Darcy and how they play with both of them and say, you know what, we're probably not getting this right at the moment. If Sean Darcy is absolutely fully fit and he's firing, then yeah, he can have an impact in the middle and it'll change the way they play when he's in the ruck. But it's very, very hard for your midfield to adapt to, Goss, when you've got a ruckman who plays a certain way when he's on the ball and then Luke Jackson comes in and plays another midfielder. Ruckman midfielder. So they have to adapt every time they've got a different ruckman in the centre. They're just better with Jackson in the middle on his own. And that's a cold, hard fact. It's not working, and they have to actually at some stage go, you know what, we've got that wrong. But they're not going to do it. And the Fyfe one is, I've got no more words on that.
Yeah, no, you don't. And we're doing statements thanks to Fosrock. Paul says Fremantle are likely to be exposed for complete lack of run. They've replaced 2 small blokes with 2 large, slow movers.
Is it going to rain up there? Forecast?
Not sure. We'll check. We'll check in with our Queensland weather forecaster. Oh, so yes, it is. Tomo from Bunbury, that bloke Chris, that called in the docker sounded like a bit like Justin Longmuir. Boys, Mike says if Darcy and Fyfe have no impact and they lose, watch Longmuir defend his decision. Well, he's allowed to defend.
Well, he's got. Yeah, you know what? And he will defend his players. I'm not sure he defends his decisions. Because Jello doesn't walk away from. If he thinks he's stuffed up, he'll actually say that's on me. So I don't mind that, but I'm not sure.
Nice coach, not a hard coach.
Yeah, I'm not. Well, yeah, I'm not sure he can continue to defend that decision if it continually doesn't work.
Our phones have lit up. Levi Ashcroft will win the Rising Star. I'm not so sure. No, he was benched last night. He'll be considered because he's an Ashcroft, and it's a nice story. But I don't know if he's had the best of the first year. As Daryl says, was Uncle Arthur from Comedy Company in the selection panel.
For Freo.
Absolutely fell off my chair hearing Darcy and Fyfe at the ends. Good luck carrying 2 players short in the Queensland heat. Puts others at risk, says Daryl.
What do you think about that decision?
I was surprised both would come in. I do think Fyfe has to be in their best 23 by if they're making a pitch for the finals.
Based on what?
Size. He doesn't have to play 4 brutal quarters. So for me, that's like you telling me that Elliot Yeo, when available and half fit, doesn't play for West Coast. You've just got to play them, mate. You can't tell me, if I was sitting there going, okay, my options are Nathan O'Driscoll, James Aish, Hugh Davies, who are the emergencies, or Nat Fyfe, I tell you who I'd be picking every day of the week. Yeah,
go through those emergencies again.
Nathan O'Driscoll, James Aish, who got a lot of it in the waffle, but, I think his best days are behind him. O'Driscoll, I just don't think he's measured up. It's just my opinion, and Hugh Davies is a defender anyway.
I'm going Aish and O'Driscoll ahead of Fyfe all day.
You probably are, and that's probably the easy option.
No, it's not the easy option.
But
it's the output. But that's the thing, though. It's not an easy option because the easy option is to play Nat Fyfe. The hard option is to say, mate, I don't think we've got a spot for you anymore. I think it's over. That's the hard decision that tough clubs make.
736. All right. And I was surprised. And has Oscar McDonald done something wrong? I would have thought he would be in that side, at least on the bench or emergency. He was in great form.
I thought he was good. Did he injure himself?
I don't know. No, I think he's playing in the WAFL, but Josh Draper's back, and that I can understand that. But give me Oscar McDonald every day.
Time now for Fridays with Ray. Ray's called in. Morning, mate. How are you feeling with this selection of Fyfe and Darcy for your team?
Oh, I don't mind Darcy. Jared Witts is going absolutely super at the moment. It's supposed to be wet weather. If you can have 2 ruckmen climbing all over one ruckman on a wet day, it's not silly.
Okay. All right. Well, you're not happy with the... Yeah, I know, but you're not happy with the way that he's structured up with Jackson in the middle and the way Luke Jackson's been playing on his own.
What did we win? 8 out of 11 last year when they both played? And this year they've played 3 games together. I understand Luke Jackson does what he does, but Luke Jackson's not having a game like last week if it's teeming with rain on the Gold Coast.
Jared Witts.
If Sean Darcy can go stoppage after stoppage after stoppage against Jared Witts and wear him down, then when they change, Luke Jackson can run off and do what he does. It's not a silly decision. If it doesn't work, Justin Longmuir is happy to die on this hill. That's good. Respect for sticking to your guns, but for the weather, I don't think it's a silly decision.
I just don't think I've seen anything of Sean Darcy this year that suggests he can go contest after contest after contest after contest in the wet with Jared Witts.
But he's not going to have to because there's going to be 2 of them. Jared Witts is the most brutal of the ruckmen in the competition. He will just cross. Jackson won't be able to play for a month after. If
we talk underrated players. Jared Witts is absolutely right up there on the podium as far as they go.
Alex Witherden joins us from Witho's Watch. Scotty has a strong opinion on this. Nat Fyfe and Sean Darcy back into the lineup.
Wow.
What's your view on that? I don't think anyone saw this coming, especially in the same week.
Yeah, I nearly fell off my chair when I saw it last night. I was really surprised. I feel like the last fortnight they've played some of their better footy in recent years. They've really started to get going. They've got a bit more speed on the ball, which has given their forwards really good looks. They had 30 shots on goal against the Giants, 25 against Port Adelaide on the weekend, and that's come from Luke Jackson playing really well in the ruck, the midfield really starting to fire and give them good field position. So I'm just not sure why you would, mess with the mix that you've got at the moment, and there was just no need to. But we do know that Darcy and Fyfe at their best can be really big assets for the Fremantle Footy Club going forward. But and the other key thing about this, which shocks me, is Perth to Gold Coast is the longest travel in AFL footy. It's a 5.5-hour flight to Brisbane. You get in there on a Friday afternoon. You get a 2-hour bus down in peak hour from Brisbane to the Gold Coast. So for guys with injury history, it just doesn't seem to make sense either.
I'm staggered. I just don't understand it. We had Justin Longmire on.
You don't want either in the side.
No, I don't want either inside, and I think
you're very emotional this morning about it.
I'm sorry, but it's getting me down.
Fremantle's best team needs Nat Fyfe in it.
No. Fremantle's best team needs Nat Fyfe from 5 years ago in it. Nat Fyfe is not the Nat Fyfe anymore, right? And he's just the best he could do is maybe a roll.
So you think he's a spud?
No.
What's the justification then?
I'm
for
not
them picking them.
I can't understand it. I think it's either, they've either given up on this one.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Do they think that if they jag a win, it's a bonus? But in Gold Coast over there, they've got a few injury concerns.
They'll start Fyfe as sub.
And just ease him into the contest.
But what if someone gets injured in the first quarter?
Well, he has to play, mate.
Yeah,
it isn't Nat Fyfe.
Technically, yes.
It isn't Nat Fyfe.
It wasn't a trick question.
He has got some runs on the board.
No, but he hasn't this year.
Yeah, but
he played waffle football and did a hamstring and missed 3 weeks.
Just watch this space.
Nah,
you're talking ill of him.
I've got to settle down on this one, Witho. It's really good under my skin.
Are you worried, Witho, about the result?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. It's surprising. It reeks of desperation or Hail Mary or whatever it might be, but it doesn't. Yeah, it just doesn't quite pass the sniff test for me. I would like to see them both come back through the waffle.
Well, that was the question last week was, does Sean Darcy, and we all spoke about it in depth here, and I know Duff did, he needs 3 weeks in the waffle. He doesn't look mobile enough, doesn't look fit enough. And Justin said, no, he's not in contention for selection this week. We're not going to play him. So, okay, well, he's not playing. But then to bring him straight back in and Fyfe.
All right.